Football Uncle Lou Superlative Award Show! Tonight's awards will include Most Embarrassing Loss, Biggest WTF Moment, the Crybaby Award, Biggest Disappointment, the We're Back Award. And now, here is your host, Uncle Lou.
Thank you, yes, thank you. Thank you very much, thank you. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Yes, okay, thank you. Yes, thank you. I see you up there, thank you. Okay, let's quiet down and get started here. Welcome to the official 2019 College Football Uncle Lou Superlative Award Show. Thank you. We've got some amazing awards up tonight. Before we get to the awards, though, I'd like to take just a minute here and reflect on the 2019 season. What an amazing college football season we had this year. Congratulations to the LSU Tigers, the 2019 College Football National Champion, 15-0 SEC champions. Ran through the playoffs without much of a challenge. Joe Burrow, Heisman Trophy winner. One of the best offenses we've seen in college football in a long, long time. Some people arguing the best team of all time. I think it's probably a little bit too soon to go that far. I think you need to wait a year or two before you try to truly evaluate something like that with a current team. But clearly an amazing season for LSU. Shout out to LSU. All right, let's get on with the award show without any further ado. The first category up today in the 2019 College Football Superlative Award Show is Most Embarrassing Loss. Two finalists for this category this year. Up first, this team came into this game, a home game for this team, as one of the most highly ranked teams in America. They were undefeated. The defense had been playing amazing. They had goals for a division title, a conference title, and even a potential playoff spot. My Georgia Bulldogs. They lost to South Carolina at home this season in one of the most head-scratching performances of any team for the entire college football season. Really, quarterback Jake Fromm played probably the worst game of his career. 4 turnovers, 3 interceptions, a pick 6. Even the greatest player Georgia has had since Herschel Walker, field goal kicker Hot Rod Rodrigo Blankenship, missed multiple field goals in that game, and despite a defensive performance that led to South Carolina only scoring 1 offensive touchdown in this game, Georgia somehow still managed to find a way to lose to a terrible South Carolina team. South Carolina was terrible even by South Carolina standards, finishing with 3 wins this year, something like that. Clearly the biggest win of their season against Georgia in Athens. A humiliating, embarrassing loss, no matter what excuse you try to make. First nominee for the most embarrassing loss of the year goes to the Georgia Bulldogs. Number 2, second finalist for the most embarrassing loss of the year 2019 goes to Tennessee Vols. Week 1 at home against Georgia State, a non-Power 5 team, a Group of 5 team, a team that was coming off a terrible 2018 season in which they didn't even make a bowl game, finishing last place in the Sun Belt Conference. Just a terrible team. Georgia State rolled into Neyland Stadium in Knoxville and came away with a 38-30 victory. One of the most embarrassing losses of the season, without a doubt, especially considering the fact this was week 1. And per usual, we had to listen to 8 months during the offseason of Tennessee fans telling us they were back. Jeremy Pruitt was the man. He knew what he was doing. He finally had the pieces in place. This was going to be the year for real this time. They were serious. They actually mean it. This time they're going to beat Georgia and Florida and compete with Alabama and possibly win the East and go on their run. Jeremy Pruitt, year 2. It's going to be amazing. Come out week 1, crap the bed against Georgia State. Not a very good look for the Tennessee Vols, to be honest. Not a very good look at all. Without further ado, let's announce the winner of this year's Most Embarrassing Loss Award. Drum roll, please. And the winner is the Tennessee Vols. Congratulations, Vols fans. You win yet another Uncle Lou Superlative Award. Without question, the Tennessee loss to Georgia State in week 1 is the most embarrassing loss of the entire season. For starters, it came week 1 against a group of 5 team, a non-power 5 team, a non-conference game, a game that even Tennessee's own fans were basically overlooking and considering a guaranteed win. Literally everyone on planet Earth was talking about this loss for the majority of the season. It didn't matter what else you did the rest of that season. The 2019 Tennessee season is and will always be remembered as the season that they lost to Georgia State. Doesn't matter that they beat 5 or 6 good teams in a row to end the season and make a bowl game and even won a bowl game. In a normal year, that would be cause for celebration at Tennessee. But because you lost to Georgia State, the most embarrassing loss of the 2019 college football season, you don't really have a whole lot to be happy about. Congratulations, Tennessee, most embarrassing loss. All right, the next awards up for grabs, 2019 College Football Uncle Lou Superlative Awards. Biggest WTF moment. Only one nominee for this award, only one finalist. Literally everybody who saw this when it happened, their mouth hit the floor and they screamed, "What the fuck?" Florida State tight end Trey McKitty lines up backwards. You guys remember this? Now, according to McKitty in post-game press conferences or interviews and the coaching staff afterwards, this was actually intentional. I'm not sure if that makes it better or worse. I think, knowing or thinking that it was an accident, I think might be a little bit better than now knowing that they actually intended to do that. Maybe you could say, well, maybe the guy bumped his head and was a little, didn't know where he was for a second or whatever. But no, they come out and say this was actually intentional. God bless Willie Taggart. I don't know if anyone has told you this or if you've heard this anywhere before, but Willie Taggart, as a head coach at Florida State, didn't know what the hell he was doing, didn't deserve the job to start with, and fell flat on his face. And this one play at Florida State, to me, will forever define the Willie Taggart legacy at Florida State. If there's one play from any team that sums up a season, or one play from any coach that sums up a tenure at any school, it's this one play from Florida State tight end Trey McKitty, lined up backwards. I don't know who he fooled. I don't know who they thought they were going to fool. I don't know who they did fool or who they tricked. This was probably the most ridiculous attempt at chicanery that Uncle Lou has ever seen. This guy, Trey McKitty, I almost feel bad for the guy. It's like guilty by association. What are you going to do? Tell your coaches, no, I'm not lining up backwards. That's ridiculous. So the guy goes out and do it. I don't know if not all there or what. Clearly just not a very good player. But
he transferred. Plays for Georgia now.
This was all Willie Taggart's fault. Florida State tight end Trey McKitty, actually a pretty good player. Wouldn't surprise me at all if he had a really good season in 2020. You can't hold this one play against him, but this does get the award for the biggest WTF moment in the 2019 college football season. Up next on the Uncle Lou Superlative Awards, one of my favorites, the Crybaby Award. And this one, of course, goes out to Gus Malzahn. Now, he's not the winner, right? He would have been the winner last year had we done this, crying about the schedule, right? It's not fair. We got to play Georgia late in the year, blah, blah, blah. Then we got to play Alabama. This isn't fair. Cries to the league office. The players are crying. The coaches are crying. The administration is crying at Auburn. Biggest crybaby. This award now dedicated each year to Gus Malzahn. So this is the Gus Malzahn Lifetime Achievement Award for biggest crybaby of the year. 2 finalists for this award. Up first, Alabama head coach Nick Saban. Now, Nick Saban is known as being a crybaby when it comes to press conferences. He's always finding something to cry about, whether it's crying about the media and the coverage that he gets that he perceives to be somehow unfair or a detriment to his team with the whole rat poison routine that he likes to go on. But Nick Saban took it to a whole new level of crying this year when he actually accused the SEC office of being out to get Alabama by purposely making them play a bunch of noon games. He complained that it was too early. He complained that the students didn't want to go to noon games. He complained that it was too hot in Alabama. Never mind the fact that every single school in the SEC, which stands for what? South Eastern Conference, is in the South. Every single campus in the SEC is hotter than 11 Hades. In the month of September, somebody has to play noon games. Every team plays noon games. For some reason, Nick Saban thought it would be a good idea to go out and cry about the fact that he feels that Alabama has to play more noon games than anyone else. And of course, it wasn't fair. The SEC is out to get him. The TV networks are out to get him, even going so far as to accuse ESPN of purposely putting Alabama on at noon, which is absolutely ridiculous. How much money has ESPN made off of Alabama in the last 10 years? Quite a bit. It was just absolutely ridiculous and probably one of the saddest things that I've seen any coach cry about in recent memory. Our second nominee and finalist for the 2019 Gus Malzahn Lifetime Achievement Crybaby Award goes to Clemson head coach Dabo Swinney. This guy is a perennial crybaby, right? This is nothing new. His crybaby routine has been going on now for years and years and years and years and years, and the routine has stayed basically the same. Give him some credit for continuity, I guess, over the years. But of course, Dabo Swinney loves to cry about ESPN, loves to cry about the media, loves to cry about the AP poll, loves to cry about the coaches poll, and loves to cry about the playoff committee and the playoff poll. Everyone is out to get Clemson. It's not fair. Poor little Clemson. That's what he likes to call poor little Clemson. Yeah, poor little Clemson. The first or second best football program in all of America. What a shame. They get no respect. Look at this. This is just ridiculous. They're ranked third. Why is LSU and Ohio State ranked higher than us? This isn't fair. We get no respect. They're out to get us. They want us to lose a game. Oh, I bet if we even struggle, they'll knock us down. If we'd have lost to North Carolina, we wouldn't have been in the college football playoff. They're looking for any reason to keep us out. Blah, 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 blah. Sponsored by Kleenex. You know how some coaches, Georgia, Alabama, I can think of several schools, be sponsored by a particular drink, whether it be Gatorade or Coke or Dasani water or whatever it is. When they do their press conferences, they have that bottle sitting right there on the podium. Dabo Swinney's press conferences there at Clemson should be sponsored by Kleenex. From now on, every single press conference that Dabo Swinney gives, there should be a giant box of Kleenex sitting right there on the podium so that this giant crybaby can wipe his eyes and his tears anytime he needs to. The idea that somehow Clemson isn't respected in the college football world is just absolutely ridiculous. Even if you go back to Dabo's main argument, which was, why are we ranked third? Why are you crying about being ranked third to begin with? Top four teams make the playoffs, and in my opinion, it shouldn't matter where you are ranked within the playoffs. If you think you're good enough to be in the playoffs, then you shouldn't care what seed you are, and you shouldn't care who that means you have to play. So the whole idea of it was potato on its face. But for Dabo Swinney, head coach of the Clemson Tigers, to act like somehow Clemson is overlooked and doesn't get any respect when they're clearly the first or second best program in all of college football, multiple national titles over the last few years, haven't lost an ACC game in over 2 years now, run through the ACC like it's not even there, make the college football playoffs every single year, but come out and cry and accuse everyone of bias against Clemson. I'm a defender in general of Clemson in that they deserve to be in the college football playoff. It's not Clemson's fault. The ACC is terrible. And if you look at who they schedule in the non-con, 2 Power 5 teams, South Carolina and Texas A&M, 2 SEC teams, boat raced both of them. It's not Clemson's fault the ACC is terrible. It's not Clemson's fault South Carolina is terrible. It's not Clemson's fault Texas A&M is terrible. So the idea that they're somehow, trying to get the easiest schedule they can, I don't buy into that. But when it gets late in the year, October, November, and these playoff polls are coming out, and you have multiple undefeated teams that don't play each other and don't have any or maybe sometimes one common opponent between them, it's inevitable. The only thing you can do at that point, or one of the only things you can do at that point, is look at strength of schedule, right? So, of course, when people were evaluating Clemson, they would talk about strength of schedule as it compared to Ohio State and LSU mostly, because those were the teams that tended to be in the top three during at least the second half of the season. Anyway, Alabama, I guess, for a while before they fell on their face. So the point is, because a playoff committee or a poll or me or someone else says, you know what, I'm going to put LSU or Ohio State ahead of Clemson, even though they're both undefeated, because I feel like Ohio State has some better wins, or I feel like Clemson has played a tougher schedule. That's not crapping on Clemson. I mean, you have to find a way to split these hairs. And for Dabo to come out year after year, week after week with the same old crybaby routine, honestly, it's getting old. Not a lot of people are excited to hear that anymore. It's really pitiful and sad. And even the Tater fans, Clemson fans, if I can say something to you, You guys need to somehow let Dabo know that this routine is played out. It's clearly not working anymore. It wasn't. We all know he only does it to try to motivate his own team. Dabo Swinney does not believe half the doo-doo that comes out of his own mouth. He's really just trying to trick his team into practicing harder, preparing harder, putting in that extra effort, whatever the case may be. Clearly, it's not working anymore for the team, as you got absolutely annihilated in the national championship game this year. But congratulations on a second-place finish this year. The Gus Malzahn Lifetime Achievement Award for Biggest Crybaby in 2019 goes to Dabo Swinney, head coach, Clemson Tigers. All right, up next, we got the Biggest Disappointment Award for the 2019 college football season, and this is a team award. Only one nominee again for this one. I really looked for multiple nominees, but to be honest, I probably could have found another nominee or two for this award, but the winner was so clearly and plainly obvious, it really would have been no point in even nominating any other team. If I asked 100 people, 95 of them would have said this team. The winner of the 2019 College Football Superlative Award for Biggest Disappointment is the Texas Longhorns. That's right, what a huge disappointment. Started the season ranked in the top 10, and really the story doesn't even start there. You go back to last year, runner-up in the Big 12 after losing to Oklahoma for what seems like the umpteenth time in a row. They get a Sugar Bowl bid, they show up, Georgia doesn't. Texas gets a big win in the Sugar Bowl at the end of the 2018 season. Of course, Sam Ehlinger does the huge "we're back" thing at the 50-yard line there of the Sugar Bowl. And we had 8 months in the offseason of brand new Texas fans that no one had seen or heard from in 11 or 12 years, suddenly rose back up from the dead to spend 8 months during the offseason telling anyone that would listen, and most people that wouldn't listen, that Texas was back, right? Texas is back. We heard it all off season. They're going to win the Big 12. They're going to dethrone Oklahoma. They'll be in the college football playoff. They're winning it all. It's their year. Sam Ehlinger for Heisman. Tom Herman, when he's not in the strip club, is probably one of the best college football coaches in America. We heard it all from Texas fans all year long. Texas promptly came out and proved that they were indeed back. Back to losing 5 games a year, like almost every single person watching this video is used to seeing them do every single year. They're just not a great team. They had a good season in 2018. They overachieved in 2018 by even making it to the Big 12 title game, and they beat a Georgia team that honestly would have been better off if they didn't even make the trip to New Orleans. Congratulations, Texas Longhorns. You are the winner of the 2019 Biggest Disappointment Award. You start the season preseason top 10. You finish unranked or 25th in some polls, but you completely fell off the map. Salute. The last award for the day in the 2019 College Football UNCLELOU Superlative Awards, the We're Back Award. Again, if this would have been an award that we did last year, we probably would have given it to Texas, right? They were back. This award, though, predates Texas and their We're Back routine. This award goes back really about 10 years, and it is named in honor of the biggest We're Back team of the social media era of the last 10 to 15 years, the Tennessee Vols. No, they're not the winner. They'll never be the winner, as they're the namesake of this award, but this is the Tennessee Vols Memorial We're Back Award. This year's winner, the 2019 College Football UNCLELOU Superlative Awards, the Tennessee Vols Memorial We're Back Award goes to the Miami Hurricanes. The Miami Hurricanes are the new Tennessee Vols. If things keep down this path, we may have to rename the award the Miami Hurricanes Memorial We're Back Award. But of course, Miami Hurricanes are back again this year, like they have been for almost every year, really since they joined the ACC. They're just one head coach away. They're just one more offensive coordinator away, right? Oh, one more defensive coordinator, one more recruiting class. We get that quarterback we've been needing, and we're in there. All we need is that one last play caller, right? Oh, if we can just get an O-line coach. Every year they're back. They just need one thing. And the one thing that they need is always what they get. Like the cart is before the horse. They wait and see what the change is, and then that change becomes what they needed. That was the one thing, right? This year, offensive coordinator, right? Never mind the fact they spent all offseason applauding the hire of Dan Enos. He's going to revolutionize Miami's offense. They're gonna be great. Manny Diaz is a defensive guy. He's going to have the defense ready to go. Dan Enos, what an amazing hired offensive coordinator. He's going to have the offense scoring 40 points a game. This season rolls around. Miami can't score 40 points a game, can barely get a first down, in fact, in most games. And of course, he gets fired. They bring in this Lashley guy, and now, guess what? Miami is back. All they needed was a new offensive coordinator. This was the only piece they were missing. They have all the talent. All the talent. Nicosia is a great quarterback. Never mind the fact he completed way less than 50% of his passes against both Duke and Louisiana Tech, which they lost to, by the way, in a bowl game, 14-0. The only team to get shut out in their bowl game. Extra weeks to prepare for a game, and you come out and can't even score against Louisiana Tech. But don't worry, we know why. You just needed that one new offensive coordinator. Here he comes on the white horse, this Lashley clown. Guess what, Lashley? You'll be the scapegoat next year. It's just gonna happen because regardless of what Miami fans think, you guys are not one anything away from being back, okay? You're not a good program. Forget the fact that you had a bad year. And you did have a bad year. You can't lose to Georgia Tech and Duke in the same year in the ACC and tell me it wasn't a bad year. You can't get beat by in-state FIU and tell me it wasn't a bad year. You can't lose a bowl game to Louisiana Tech and get shut out and tell me it wasn't a bad year. But here's the problem. It's not just a bad year. You, Miami, are a bad program. You're not back, but you are the winner of the We're Back Award. Let me speak on behalf of every single college football fan in America who hasn't been delusioned by the U, okay? Thank you. We love laughing at you. We're gonna laugh at you all off season. We're gonna watch you idiot YouTube video makers with the Miami crap on tell us that Lashley was the missing link. We're gonna listen to all that. We're gonna laugh. You're back. You're winning the ACC. You're going 12-0. You're challenging Clemson. You're going to the playoff. The U is back. The U is not back. Back to what? Back to being in the Big East? That would be about the only thing that could save Miami at this point. They've been absolutely irrelevant since joining a real conference back 15 or 16 years ago, the ACC. Yet to win the ACC not a single time. South Carolina still has more ACC titles with one than Miami does. That is sad. You've won the division once. That is sad. You have losing streaks. Not just a loss, but streaks to Georgia Tech and Duke. That is sad. You're owned in your own state by lower classification teams like FIU and Florida. That is sad. You're not one anything away. You're an abysmal program. That's not going to change just because you bring Lashley in. Get used to it, Miami. You're irrelevant. No one cares about the 5 national titles that you won 15, 25, 30 years ago. It means absolutely nothing today. Nothing. Yale has 27 natties, and they have just as much a chance of winning another one in 2020 as Miami does. Congrats. You're back. That's going to do it. Thanks for tuning in to this year's 2019 College Football UNCLELOU Superlative Award show. I may do a part 2 of this show a week or two from now, or give me a chance to come up with some other awards, and I've got some other videos that I need to knock out here leading up to signing day, which is only a couple of weeks away. After signing day, things really slow down in the college football world for a couple of weeks anyway before spring practice starts. So maybe we'll have time then to put together another one of these award show videos. If you have some suggestions for some potential awards that I could include in a part 2 of this video, leave those suggestions in the comments section down below. Can't promise you that I'll do them all, but I would love to see you guys' ideas and suggestions for some potential awards here on the UNCLELOU Superlative Show. Appreciate you guys watching. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I post college football videos almost every single day of the year. Some of them are even watchable. I don't know about that. No, you know what? I do think this one's watchable. So I really appreciate you watching. Hit the thumbs up button. Share this video with a friend or two. And I'll see you again real soon. Have a good morning.